Good evening. Welcome to the 20th episode of Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops Facebook Live events. Tonight, our topic is gaining experience as a writer. I can tell you that there is so much that you can do to gain experience as a writer. But first, I just want to remind you that if you are interested in taking a workshop with me, I do have a workshop coming up this next Saturday, January the 19th at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, called Write Fearlessly in the New Year. If you've ever taken any of my in-person Write Fearlessly classes, this is pretty much going to be exactly the same. It's just going to be all online, and we'll have the chat option, and we'll be able to do the 3-hour workshop live and in person in your pajamas. So I look forward to it. For those of you who are interested in joining me, if you need to do a refresh, I will be glad to have you on board. Plus, the bonus, I'm doing a Write Fearlessly workbook that goes with the class. So it makes it a lot easier to take notes. It has everything that you might possibly miss in a normal workshop. You have the opportunity to write it down. So I hope that you'll join me. You can find all the information about that on the Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops Facebook page, or on the RachelPilcherWritingWorkshops.com website. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a couple of people that have joined in. Sharon, hi. Thank you for joining. I want to talk to y'all tonight about gaining experience as a writer. So there are so many of you that are out there, you probably realize that it's hard to break into the writing business. To get your work published, people always want to know, well, what kind of followers do you have? Well, what do you have? Do you have anybody on Instagram that's following you? What's your Facebook page look like? How many hits do you get on your website? So it's good to be able to, whenever a publisher asks you that information, to be able to have stats that you can use to back up for that. So one of the ways that you can gain experience as a writer is to journal through blogging. So, sorry, that was kind of weird. Okay, I just got distracted by the light. It's kind of weird. Anyway, so gaining experience as a writer by blogging. A lot of writers feel like they don't have time. They're spending all their time writing their novels or doing research, and they don't have time to blog. But really, it only takes about maybe 30 minutes to an hour at the most to do a blog post. And you can do a blog post. You can decide whether excuse me, if you want to do it twice a week or even once a week. But as long as you get some words out, get some followers, so that whenever a publisher says, well, what kind of following do you have? What can we do to bank on you? What's the proof that people are going to read what you have to say? You can say, well, I have at least 70, 80, 90 hits, or even 1,000. That would be the best that you could possibly imagine, if you could have 1,000 or more hits on individual blog posts. So, being able to show that you have that is a good experience. Also, besides blogging, you can always try to get in on the local journalism market that you have in your city. So newspapers are always looking for freelance journalists, freelancers that would be willing to go out and present interesting story that they can publish, that they don't always have to pay a full-time journalist to do. And with the way that journalism is working today, they are always looking for freelancers. They don't really want to have full-timers, which is the sad state of the publishing world for newspapers and for magazines and for weeklies, but it's the truth. It's just how it is. So be on the lookout for interesting story ideas that you could propose to those local publications, so that you can get the scoop, get your name in print, and be able to say, well, I've been published in, and do that. The other thing that you can do is to write short stories and send them in to literary journals, kind of like Panther City Review, or that's mine, if you didn't know. That's the Sleeping Panther Press publishes Panther City Review. It's an annual publication. but you can submit to smaller literary journals to get your writing published. That way you can build a portfolio of other writing that's published. So, those are just basic ways that you can get your writing out there. Now, some of you may be feeling like, well, I need to gain better writing skills besides just, trying to get published. I need to, become a better writer in specific skills. So one of the ways that you can do is you need to figure out what your writing skills lack and then be able to work towards improving that. So if you know that you have bad grammar skills, there are ways that you can improve your grammar. You can enroll in a course, if you wanted, at your local community college just to take grammar. You can go to Half Price Books or any bookstore, and you can purchase a Grammar for Dummies book. I know they have them. I've seen them. There are many ways that you can gain a better knowledge that you need to improve your writing. You can always make a plan for a course of study that you will partake yourself to improve your writing. So you can take online courses, like my class. But you can also, there are many other courses that you can take. I know if you're in Texas, and I think even if you're not in Texas, you can take the online versions of I just drew a blank. The Writers League of Texas, there it is. They offer online workshops. I think that there are several other groups that are offering online workshops that you can always take. And all you have to do is just use Google. Use Google. Google is your friend sometimes. You can put in the search term, writing workshops, online courses, things like that, and you will be able to find information that you need to help improve your writing. But it's always good to figure out what it is that needs to improve. So you have to address whatever your weakness may be. So your weakness could be dialogue, and then look for perhaps online courses that can help with dialogue, or look for books that can help with dialogue. Sometimes books are cheaper than a writing course, but there's nothing like having an instructor in front of you telling you what you need to know. So, but it could be structure. It could be, like I said, grammar. Read articles. Join newsletters. I follow Jane Friedman, who is phenomenal at giving great writing advice, and always has some sort of tidbit of information that you need to improve your writing, whether you are a master craftsman writer or you are a novice beginner who wrote a paragraph and think, you know what, I kind of like this. So, check out Jane Friedman. There are all kinds of Facebook groups that you can join that work with writers to improve their craft. So definitely do that. Always look at where you want to publish and read the kind of work that they publish. You will notice that a lot of editors, even if they try to be very diverse in their choices, they still have a style that they lean more towards. And you can see how clear and concise the sentences are in the writing that they choose to publish is, so that you can kind of develop your writing skills based on what you're reading, which is what, the whole idea of you have to be a reader to be a writer is, read and then emulate that. Figure out what that's going to do to help your writing. But if you do plan on improving your writing so that you can gain more experience out there, I'm going to kind of go full circle and go back to the blog. Blogging is the #1 way that you can get out there. It doesn't cost you anything except for time and setting up a website. You can use Blogger, WordPress, anything, and that will give you an instant online portfolio. So, you can write every day, a couple times a week, once a week, and share it and get your word out there. Get your work out there. So gaining experience, it's not always easy because you think that to gain experience, it's sort of like whenever you are applying for jobs. If you just got out of college or you just graduated from high school and you're like, well, they want someone that has this experience, but I just graduated, so how do I get that experience? And it's an entry-level job. So it's a way to gain experience without having to go the traditional routes. Pretty much doing everything you can online and getting to know the publications that you're interested in working for it's in a way it's a non-traditional way of getting your work out there. So I know I know towards the end that seemed a little confusing, but it's just getting experience, getting the information that you need to be able to get out there and get your work into the public eye is the best thing possible. So I hope that you have a great evening. Our next episode, episode 21, I can't believe that I've gotten past 20 at this point, is going to be on January 27th. So, and I'm still working on the topic for that. I have 3 different outlines of topics that I could possibly do. So that is to be determined. So I hope you have a great Sunday, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.